Hello everybody, it's your boy Zach back to attack yet another shiggity show, and today we're going to be discussing a new show that just came out called Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, I'm talking about Star Wars. Get over it. If you don't like it, you can click away. That's fine. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off with the newly released episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I have been really excited for. I saw the trailer. I was just like, ever since I saw that trailer, I've been pumped, okay? And then they put out that other trailer, and it looked even more cool. I just want to get into this, so let's get into it. Now the show has been kind of delayed quite a bit, so they ended up releasing episodes 1 and 2 as like, sorry about that. Here you go. We good. I'm not really complaining. That's fine by me. I mean, there's only going to be 6 episodes of this entire little mini-series, which is kind of upsetting. I really think this could have been like a series. I think Obi-Wan can be a series, but it is what it is. I mean, they probably just had like an idea for like a film, and like they just ended up like fleshing it out more. At least that's what I hope. I hope it's not like dragged out. As much as I liked the Book of Boba Fett, that one was kind of dragged out. The beginning was good, and then it had a lot of cool stuff that had nothing to do with Boba Fett. But like a lot of other stuff was just not that great, and a lot of that not great stuff had to do with Boba Fett in the middle there. So yeah, that was kind of upsetting. But it looks like Book of Boba Fett's going to be getting a season 2, possibly. They haven't completely written off that it's a miniseries, even though that's what they originally said it was going to be. So there's a chance that we're going to be getting more, especially because they really need to fix a lot of things from that show, and in my opinion, I liked a lot of it, but there's some things that need fixed. Definitely, as a big Star Wars fan, fix it. And please don't make those mistakes here. Okay, this is Obi-Wan Kenobi. You cannot do the same mistakes here. Okay, this is Obi-Wan freaking Kenobi. It's been such a long time since we've seen Obi-Wan, and we really haven't ever gotten to really have that area fleshed out between episodes 3 and 4 of like what he's been up to. I mean, obviously we've always kind of known what he's been up to. I mean, they've kind of shown in comics that like he's watching over Luke. I haven't gotten to all the content going over Obi-Wan's adventures out there, even if it is like legends and stuff like that, which is just a bunch of non-canon stuff now because of Disney buying Star Wars. But I'm still going to go ahead and check that out. But as far as I know, he just watches over Luke. Maybe he has a run-in with some Tuskens, and maybe gets some training from Qui-Gon, as was mentioned by Yoda in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Anyways, let's go ahead and get right into this. Episode 1 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, titled Part 1. Well, I mean, look, I know that it's just like a little mini-series, so really it makes more sense to just call it Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, Part 6. I like my titles. I like my titles. What am I saying? Anyways. All right, so Episode 1, Part 1, Obi-Wan. Let's go! Now, before this episode even started, I loved it because, like, right before the episode began, there was this really cool, like, cut together trailer that it was beautifully cut together. Like, the way that they, like, the bits of dialogue that they chose and the music that they put in the background all kind of put together. It was so masterfully done. Whoever cut that trailer together did a really fantastic job. Like you don't need to go watch the prequels or anything before watching this if you haven't seen the prequels in a while and you kind of want to get a refresher. They did that for you. Don't worry. They're like, hey, they literally do like a previously on for the Star Wars prequels, which I kind of was like, that's kind of funny. I mean, that's cool. Like it's cool. It's really, really dope. But wow, I was just like, I got chills. Like, I got freaking chills before the show even started. So I was like, all right, hats off. Props to whoever did that trailer at the beginning of the show. So, all right. Now we can actually get into the show. And even the show goes right out the gate with some amazing cinematography with the opening scenes, with the Order 66 scene. Like, it just opens up, and first of all, we start with this master Jedi training these youngling Padawan disciple kids or whatever in the Force. And then, boom, these freaking clones come out and they just start blasting. They just went in there and started blasting. And then the master was just like, like a master does. You know, she even made those sound effects, like with her saber. She didn't make those with her mouth, like you have to do whenever you're a kid with your toy saber, trying to pretend you're a Jedi. Not that I've done that. I've never done that, except for just now when you saw me do that. Moving on. Anyways, the master takes the children out into this corridor, and the camera follows them, and I really do like the way the directing was done here. I think Deborah Chow did an amazing job here just right out the gate, like I said. Then she gets cornered by these 501st clone troopers, and then they just start blasting again, and she's trying to deflect them as much as she can, and she ends up taking them down with her, and because like they kill her, but she does take them with her, so that's good. And then, like, you know, the younglings are like, oh man, this sucks. We should run. So they run. And I really do think this was like really cool to finally see, like, inside that night at the Jedi Temple of Order 66, because we have only seen like the march going up to the Jedi Temple, and then like a very few cut together, like very limited scenes in Revenge of the Sith of the attack on the temple, and like there's just so much slaughter going into that temple alone. I really think it would be really cool to have seen that stuff. So it was just really cool to see, just even like a little snippet of what went on in there. And I kind of have a theory after having seen this that we're gonna be coming back. We're gonna be having another flashback. We're gonna end up seeing more of that night in the Jedi Temple, and I'll get to that theory later at the end of the video. But I think we're gonna be seeing more, and we might even see Hayden Christensen as the hooded Darth Vader before he gets all burnt up and dons the iconic Darth Vader suit. I think we're gonna see him slaughtering Jedi, and he's gonna put the fear of God into all of us watching, I think, as well as, you know, the youngling kids and all that. But I think they're definitely gonna do that. I think it'd be a missed opportunity not to show Hayden Christensen like going freaking ape shit on all the freaking masters and Jedi Knights and Padawans and younglings and stuff. I think it would be a missed opportunity, but that's just me. But as to the theory of why I think we're definitely going to be coming back here, like I said, we'll get to that at the end of the video. So moving on, we cut away 10 years later to the planet Tatooine. Yep, the planet Tatooine. I know after seeing The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, now Obi-Wan Kenobi, You might be a little tired of sand.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here. Here everything is soft and smooth.
We are kind of visiting this planet an awful lot in these new Disney Star Wars shows, aren't we? Like, especially in these live action ones. Like, what gives, Disney? Like, you know that there are other planets out there, right? Like, it kind of does seem like Tatooine is the only planet in this galaxy with stories to tell. Even though that's not true, it just kind of seems that way. Although it is kind of essential to this story why we have to be here on Tatooine for the Obi-Wan show, so Obi-Wan gets a pass. I mean, the other two shows definitely could have not been on Tatooine if they didn't want to. If they absolutely didn't want to. It kind of makes sense for Book of Boba Fett. But, you know, and I mean, it's not that big a deal. It's just, I don't know. I'm getting a little sanded out. I'm starting to understand where Anakin's coming from. Let's see some other planets, okay, Disney? Like, you know, anything. Like, I'm just saying. Like, if we get another show, another live action show, and you take us back to Tatooine, I'm gonna start thinking you running out of tricks, okay? I'm gonna start thinking Tatooine's all you got. So, just seriously, Disney, take us to another planet. Pick another planet. Not Jakku! Not Jakku! Okay, that's cheating! That's cheating. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. That's a sand planet that's we're raised from, and that's basically Tatooine 2.0. Don't go to Jakku. It's the middle of nowhere. Here on Tatooine, we see an Imperial ship land down, and from this Imperial ship, we see the first ever live action appearance of the Inquisitors, because before this, they were only in an animated series, or, you know, you'd see them in comics or whatever, but we have never seen them in live action before, and it's, I mean, I love it whenever they adapt stuff from, whether it's comics or especially from the animated series. I get really like giddy, like, it's them, that's that person, hey, I know you. Specifically, like the Grand Inquisitor and Fifth Brother. Those two characters were in the animated series Star Wars Rebels. So those two have been adapted here. The other character with them is called Third Sister, and she is actually new. A new member that we haven't ever seen in any of the Star Wars lore before. Third Sister, or at least that's what they call her, Third Sister. And maybe you're wondering, well, why have we seen like Fifth Brother if Third Sister is only now being introduced? Well, that's just kind of how they do it. They've just, like, the Inquisitors are just a thing. They call them this number and then that brother or sister or whatever, you know, and that's just what it is. And they just kind of like go at random, like whenever they introduce a new Inquisitor, just kind of like leaving room for another Inquisitor like rank there. So like for example, in 2000, what was it? In 2019, there was a new game that came out. It was called Jedi Fallen Order. And that was a great game, by the way. I freaking love that game, and I really can't wait for the new game whenever that comes out. But anyways, I digress. The Inquisitor in that one is they revealed for the very first time the second Inquisitor, and that was her first ever appearance in 2019. But Seventh Sister and Fifth Brother both made their first appearance in 2015. So, like I said, it's kind of wonky. Like, you know, 2015 we get 7 and 5, and then in 2019 we get 2. You know, so it's weird. And then now here in 2022 we're getting number 3. You know, Third Sister. So it's weird. And then, you know, the Grand Inquisitor, he's basically number 1. So for those of you who were perhaps curious, I just thought I'd fill you in. The Inquisitors end up walking into a cantina because, you know, Star Wars, and they end up threatening the bartender's life there, and before the whole patrons. Like they're just like, he's like, the Grand Inquisitor is just like having this big talk with all the people there, and is like, hey, I know that there's a Jedi that hides here, okay? I know he comes to this establishment, and I know that you're hiding him, Mr. Bartender, okay? So I'm gonna kill you. But hopefully this guy is just gonna reveal himself and is among these patrons today, or you're gonna die. And, you know, I do know Jedis are kind of against this whole letting innocents die, so he's probably going to reveal himself. That's basically what he's basically saying at the moment of him about to kill this bartender. And then, you know, he gets stopped from killing this bartender, or cantina tender. Yeah. He gets stopped by a Jedi that's just sitting at the table, at one of the tables in the cantina. But then the Jedi quickly makes a run for it, but then is cut off by Third Sister, who ignites her saber. Then the Inquisitor tells his subordinates to ready the Jedi for interrogation. But Third Sister just kind of like ignores her boss and just like swings up on the freaking Jedi. But the Grand Inquisitor uses the Force and stops the blade right here, like on the Jedi's shoulder, and it's cutting into his shoulder. And then, like, the Grand Inquisitor throws her aside, which gives the Jedi, like, a chance to flee. So he just runs off, and then the fifth brother chases after the Jedi. And then the Grand Inquisitor is like, what are you doing? Like, I am boss. I am top dog. You listen to me, okay? Okay. I am Grand Inquisitor. El Grande Inquisitorio Diagate. But she don't give a crap. She's just kind of like tired of going after what she calls scraps. She wants to go after bigger game. And then the Grand Inquisitor is like, look, I see what this is, okay? You are still fixated on Kenobi, okay? You need to freaking get over it, okay? He's gone. All right, he's not for you to go after. Let it go. All right, you are too reckless. Freaking stop it, or I'm going to kill you. That is basically what he's telling me. And you know, I don't think she really listened much. She's just kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever, boss. Hey, you scrub. She doesn't say that, but that's basically what she said. She might as well have said that. We cut away elsewhere to what looks like a meat factory of sorts, like a meat factory plant, and that is where we finally see Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's just living the hard life. He's on hard times. He's just trying to get by, making ends meet. You get it? Because meat factory, ends meet. You're too good. You're too good. I know. So we see Kenobi working there. He sees like some coworker mistreated. The dude is getting like underpaid, and he really needs money to help feed his family. And then like the boss just freaking decks the dude, and then Kenobi's just like, sorry. Just kind of walks off. Gets his payday done and rolls out. He's far from the Kenobi that we once remembered him to be, and that's that's sad. But I'm thinking by the end, he'll hopefully be something of his former shell. He ends up sneaking off like a piece of the meat for basically the Star Wars equivalent of a camel, and he feeds that to it, and then rides off on his space camel off into like this little cave area that he has, like, and he just kind of stays there. I guess that's like his home, his cave. Like he lives in a cave. Kenobi, like I know you're living the poor life, but I bet you those other people like have homes, like normal people. you could socialize. You don't have to just live by yourself and stuff. Like I know you want to watch over this boy, and you can do that, but you can also like live life and not be so depressed, and not live life so depressingly. I'm just throwing that out there. Honestly, you've been living 10 years this way. That's like, why have you not just like committed seppuku? I mean, I would have if I were you. That's so depressing. My lord, like this life you're living. Like honestly, you're eating, you're breathing, watching over a kid, and doing it all over again. That's, well, you know what? I guess that's life, isn't it? But the way he does it is just so depressing, though. Like he doesn't socialize or anything. He doesn't do anything. Like it doesn't seem like so. Anyways, and to make things like even like more sad or whatever, he cooks up this like really non-appetizing meal, and honestly, it was kind of reminiscent of what Rey cooked up in The Force Awakens. Like she you just like kind of put these things in like a little pan, and then it just kind of like forms itself like into like a meal, and I mean it's kind of cool, but like. Ray's actually looked kind of appetizing, I think, from what I recall, but his looked freaking nasty. Kenobi, why are you doing this to yourself? Why do you hate yourself? Oh, well, probably because you failed. Yeah, okay, never mind. You deserve this. JK! Kinda. Soon after eating his meal, a trading Jawa stops by, and he ends up buying like a toy off of the Jawa, and the Jawa even like tries to sell him like this Jedi belt. You know, after he stole like a part from Kenobi and then tried to sell it back to him, but Kenobi knew what was up. But and Kenobi was like, could you have at least like cleaned it like before selling it back to me? And the Jawa was like, cleaning costs extra. Freaking Jawas, dude. You can't trust those guys, honestly. How are those still around? I feel like so many people would just off those guys for like messing with so many different people by now. So Kenobi, like he gets like this like Jedi belt. I believe it came off that Jedi that ran off, like it fell off him, and this Jawa happened to get a hold of the belt, and Obi-Wan's just kind of looking it over, and is just like he's just kind of like reminiscing over it. I think like kind of like fondly looking over it, kind of in a way, but then just kind of hands it back, and is like he wants nothing to do with it. Like Jedi are gone, and doesn't want anything to do with them. That type of thing. So. Oh, Kenobi, come on. We need you. We need you back. I mean, not exactly yet, but, we will. I can feel it. I could feel it. That night, Kenobi has a nightmare, and we get, like, snippets from the prequels again. And, again, it is very wonderfully cut together. I really liked it. But, it goes from, like it shows Qui-Gon telling Kenobi that he must train Anakin, and then it shows Qui-Gon getting stabbed and killed, and then it spirals, and it just like goes like all sorts of crazy. Like it shows Anakin as like a little boy, like shooting and fighting off like the droids and stuff like that, in the little ship in like episode 1 in the Phantom Menace, and then it shows him like in his turn to the dark side, and then it shows Padme. It shows her like happy and pregnant, and then it shows her like in pain and suffering, and like the children being born, and him there with her, and that he needs to protect the children. And then it shows like, the fight between him and Anakin on Mustafar, and then Anakin burning, and then saying "I hate you," and it's just that is basically how I felt whenever I watched it, and that's basically what it was, kind of the speed it went at. At least that's what I kind of remember. And it was just like so much at once. And I bet that's exactly kind of how Kenobi felt. It was just like, and he couldn't take it. He jolted up from his bed, and he just kind of just like sat up, and in the darkness of that like cave, he kind of like looked out, and he started calling to his master Qui-Gon, just like hoping for some sort of reply. And I don't know if that means like he's like been in contact before and then just kind of like fallen out of it, or if over the last 10 years he's tried to make contact with Qui-Gon and it's just never happened. Either way, with this and having seen Qui-Gon again there in the little nightmare and also at that little trailer at the beginning of this episode, I would say we're definitely gonna be getting like an appearance, or at the very least hear Liam Neeson's voice at some point, and he's gonna kind of guide Obi-Wan at some point, probably whenever Obi-Wan is like in like a really like, and whenever he's in like dire straits, like whenever he is like really having a tough time and like really needs some guidance, and then Qui-Gon's just gonna be like, I am here for you, Obi-Wan. It is me, Qui-Gon. I've been ignoring you for 10 years, but hey, I'm here now. Boy, was I wrong about him being the chosen one, am I right? Something like that. But yeah, no, Qui-Gon's nowhere to be heard, so nowhere to be heard or seen from anywhere. And then Obi-Wan's all sad and stuff, and honestly, well, why have you not offed yourself, Obi-Wan? You're living a very depressing life. I'm not advocating it. I'm curious. Have you thought about it? You probably have. Obi-Wan ends up traveling the next day over to just like outside the Lars family moisture farm, and he kind of watches over Luke, and we kind of see 10-year-old Luke just kind of, being him. We see Owen is there doing moisture farmer stuff, and we see Luke is just kind of like pretending to be like a pilot, and he's just like, phew, 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 phew. Kids did back in the day. I mean, not me. I didn't try to pretend to be a pilot in Star Wars. Really cool though. And then later that night, Kenobi leaves the toy ship that he bought from the Jawa outside the Lars homestead. And on his way back, he ends up running into that Jedi. Like, he just kind of like walks up on him and then is like, hey, Master! Oh my God, it's so good to see you. And then Obi-Wan's like, I believe you have me mistaken for someone else. And then the Jedi is like, no, you're Obi-Wan Kenobi. What are you talking about? And then, Obi-Wan's just, he's trying his best to just like play it off like he got him confused for somebody else, but the kid isn't buying it, and like he's like, dude, you need to help me. Then Obi-Wan gets down off his space camel and says, you want help? Take that lightsaber of yours, go out into the middle of the desert and bury it. Because it kind of attracts attention for, Jedi hunters. And, it's dangerous and whatnot, so. And then, he kind of rides off telling the Jedi that the time of the Jedi is over. Kenobi legit has definitely given up on the Jedi ever coming back. But yet he's also, he's dedicated to helping train this boy. You would think that he would want to stay trained himself. Like, if he's going to end up training Luke. I don't know. I don't know. I guess he views him as the chosen one, so he's the one that's going to bring balance and save the galaxy, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, you are so lost, Kenobi. You're so lost. We then cut away to a place I really didn't expect us to be cutting away to, which is Alderaan, which is a place we really haven't seen a whole lot of. I think we got like a very small snippet of it in Revenge of the Sith, and that's about it. And then we hear about it getting destroyed in Episode 4, A New Hope. So, yeah. But it was kind of cool. It's kind of cool seeing that place. So we see 10-year-old Leia is kind of ignoring her royal duties and is just running off into the woods with her robot companion Lola. But she ends up getting caught like right away by her mother, and her mother takes Lola away, and Leia's all apologetic and gives her mother a hug and is, very sorry. Then just snatches Lola away from her, and just like, she's so mischievous, and I love it. But that was also an awesome surprise to see, because I wasn't really expecting much from Leia. I don't know why, I just wasn't. But that makes sense that we would see her. I really like this actress that is playing Leia. Like, child actors are usually shit. Like, child actors are usually really, really bad. So props to whoever was playing 10-year-old Leia here. You did a really great job. We return back to Tatooine, where Obi-Wan steals yet another slice of meat at the meat plant for his space camel. And yes, I could just look up what you call the space camel and just call it that, but honestly, I'd prefer to call it a space camel. I'd probably end up looking it up and be like, nope, space camel. We're gonna call it a space camel. So I'm gonna call it a space camel. Deal with it. Deal with it. Deal with it. Deal with it. Honestly, Kenobi, how long have you been stealing meat from this factory? Have you been doing it like for the last 10 years or however long you've been working at this meat plant? Like you're probably gonna get caught at some point. You're not even looking around to like see if anybody's watching you. You're just kind of doing it. Like you don't even seem to care. I imagine that's not okay to do, unless that's like a payment, like it's part of your payment. But it doesn't look like everybody else is doing that, so I don't know. But I mean, I wasn't really fully paying attention, but I don't think everybody else was doing it. But he surely is. And I mean, I'm just saying, Obi-Wan, Tatooine jail ain't no joke, okay? You just don't play around, okay? This is serious. This is serious. Okay. So Obi-Wan ends up feeding a space camel whenever Owen Lars shows up and tosses that toy that Obi-Wan bought from the Jawa, right? Like, he just like tosses it right at Obi-Wan and is just like, hey, stay away from Luke, okay? And Kenobi's like, yo, it's just a toy, okay? Calm down. And then Owen's like, yeah, it's more than just a toy. Which, I mean, he's not wrong, because I mean, it was a ship, it was a pilot ship toy, I mean, something like that. So I mean, obviously he wants Luke's state of mind to be all about like going across the galaxy up amongst the stars, piloting and all that, and just like his father type mentality. So it is kind of more than just a toy, but oh well. And then Obi-Wan's like, look, Owen, we've already discussed this. Whenever the time is right, he must be trained. And then Owen hits him with some real gut punch. He doesn't pull no punches. He just freaking goes for it. And he tells Obi-Wan, oh yeah? Trained him, huh? Train him like you trained his father? Whoa! I'm like, Owen, put the claws away, man! Whoa! Shit! Owen begins to walk off, but stops at the sound of Fifth Brother shouting amongst the townsfolk, and everybody just kind of stops on their heels. And then, Kenobi goes and hides in the corner because, he doesn't want to get spotted by these Inquisitors because, he thinks they're all, looking for him or whatever. And then Fifth Brother's like, everybody, hey, guess what? I got a great deal for you, okay? Listen here. You guys gotta know where this Jedi is, okay? You gotta know, okay? So here's what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna do you all a solid. You turn in the Jedi, I'm gonna give you a reward. All right? Now I know we have a bad rap, us Inquisitors, okay? We look scary. We are scary. We're scary. But I want to reward you for helping us, okay? All right, you're gonna be handsomely rewarded if you help us. And then Third Sister, she just chimes in. She is like, or you will be punished because you've been harboring a Jedi. And then Fifth Brother's like, Reva, enough. Which, by the way, I guess the third sister's name is Reva. Because, he shouted her name. Reva. It's like, Reva, enough! He's trying to call her off. She's like, you will be punished if you are harboring a Jedi. We'll start by cutting off the hands. That way, next time you reach for something, you'll be thinking of us. And like, fifth brother is just like, yo, like, what is this bitch doing? like, I had this. I didn't need your help. And then this lady among the townsfolk, after this talk of Reva cutting off hands, this lady just opens her mouth and just starts saying, you guys don't have a right to do what you're doing, okay? We got rights, okay? You can't do nothing to us. And then can you guess what happens to her? If you said she gets her hand cut off by Reva, she gets her hand cut off by Reva. That's wild. Because it's like she just said that 2 seconds fucking ago. Like, what the hell? Are you fucking stupid? Like, you kind of had that one coming, lady. I'm just saying. Like, sorry, but you're fucking stupid. Why did you open your mouth? Like, and I could see that it was a prop hand as she was speaking, because like her normal hand is like here, like at her side or whatever. And then like her other hand is just like, it's kind of like limped out in front of her like this. And it's just like, you have no right. And then the saber just like, something like that. That lady was stupid, but Reva's more stupid, to be fair. And fifth brother, he's so pissed. Because then Reva just starts. She starts threatening Owen, of all people, and is just like, everyone, listen up. You tell me where this freaking Jedi is, or I'm gonna kill this man. I'm gonna kill Owen here and his family. Okay, speak up now. And Owen, he kind of like looks over at Kenobi. Especially hearing about that reward and all that. But, to kind of make us think that, maybe he's going to hand him over. Ho, 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 ho. But, he doesn't, obviously. And then, she's about to, like, bear into Owen with her saber. And then fifth brother just calls her off. And then just reminds everybody, hey, guys, look. That bitch is crazy. You call me. I'll hook you up. All right? All right, don't call Reva. Call me. All right, I will get you your reward. All right. She crazy. She cry. All right, peace. Fifth brother out. And then he confronts her, telling her that she is like too impulsive, and she is, and then he's like, yo, like we've been looking for Kenobi for the last 10 years, and we came up with nothing. Okay, I can tell that this is what you're on about. You need to freaking let it go. The Grand Inquisitor is not having it, and neither am I. And then she's like, you guys might be... And then Reva's like, you guys might have not been looking in the right places, okay? You should let me do this, okay? And she ends up just walking off, and... fifth brother should have just killed her right there. I mean, why not? I don't think the Grand Inquisitor would have cared. Which, speaking of which, it's kind of weird how we just randomly kind of get third sister's name, her name being Reva, because like you don't know fifth brother's name, you don't know the Grand Inquisitor's name, you don't typically know the Inquisitor's names, and so there's got to be a significance there, right? Like, why is she given a name? The only really Inquisitor I can think of that was given a name is second sister, and we got her name in the video game that I talked about earlier, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and that was through her backstory. As before she turned into an Inquisitor, but then after that she was called second sister. So it kind of seems like they're just kind of putting that there. That way you'll know who Reva is in a flashback of sorts, perhaps? So, I wonder. Why does she have a name? We'll get back to this. Obi-Wan ends up thanking Owen for not ratting him out, and then Owen's like, I didn't do it for you, which, you know, that's great. But I'm pretty sure Reva said that she was going to end up killing him and his family if he didn't speak up. Honestly, I think he'd be saving his family if he gave up Obi-Wan, because like then he'd be like, oh, okay, cool, thanks, bud. You gave up the Jedi, sweet. Because like honestly, like she was gonna kill him and then like find his family and kill them, I guess. But I don't know. So honestly, I think you should have given up Obi-Wan, is what I'm saying. But yeah, it all worked out. Back at Alderaan, the Organas wait for their family members to arrive. There's this big shindig that they have, and there Leia is sat with a bunch of the younger cousins and all that, and she's like polite to this droid that's serving them food or whatever, and she's like thanking it. And then this rude cousin whose name I can't remember, so we're just gonna call him Rudy because he's rude. We're just gonna call him Rudy. He's like, you know, you don't really need to have manners for lower life forms. Okay, you don't need to be thanking your droids. And then Leia is, she's like, well, then I guess I don't need to be having manners when I'm talking to you. I fucking love that shit. And then you know Rudy had to basically snap back with something. So he basically said the equivalent of, oh yeah? Well, you're adopted. Got her. Which, you know, I mean, he did get her. Such a good one. That was basically the best he had. But then she just started like tearing him down by his insecurities. She's just like, you know what? You're trying so much to be like your father. You're trying to be this big, bad, intimidating figure, but you're not. You're just this scared little boy who doesn't make any decisions for himself and never will. And it's just like, and can continue to tear him down in front of all the other cousins, and then he just shuts up. Like, freaking take that, Rudy! You freaking Rudy Patootie! And then Leia just walks off, and like her parents like tell her that you need to apologize or whatever for some freaking reason, even though he was the prick. And then, you know, she's like, yeah, sure, I will. Yeah, totally. And then she just runs off into the woods because, you know, screw that. Why would you apologize to him? He's a scrub. You know, and then you know, so good for her for sticking it to the man.
Because the world is run by the man.
Who?
The man. Oh, you don't know the man? Oh, well, he's everywhere. In the White House, down the hall, Miss Mullins, she's the man. And the man ruined the ozone, and he's burning down the Amazon, and he kidnapped Shamu and put her in a chlorine tank, okay? And there used to be a way to stick it to the man. It was called rock and roll. But guess what? Oh, no. The man ruined that, too, with a little thing called MTV. So don't waste your time trying to make anything cool or pure or awesome, because the man's just going to call you a fat, washed-up loser and crush your soul. So do yourselves a favor and just give up.
So her parents wanted her to apologize, and then, you know, Bail Organa, you know, has like a little private chat with her. You know, Bail Organa, played by returning actor Jimmy Smits, and it was really cool seeing him come back to reprise his role. But you know, she tells him, yeah, I'll be right out. I'll apologize, and then she runs off into the woods. You know, luckily she knows she's right and just runs off into the woods and says, "Screw that, cousin." Okay, you know, he's dumb. He's a Rudy Patootie. Not so luckily, she runs out into the woods into a trap set by a bunch of bounty hunters and then gets kidnapped. So, there is that. But she stood her ground. That's what matters. Then she ends up running into this group of bounty hunters, which is led by Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. So Flea flies off with Leia Organa in his ship. And, she got kidnapped. That sucks. That sucks. On Tatooine, Owen ends up receiving a distress call from Bail Organa, and he's like, yo, you're my only hope. Leia's your only hope, am I right? Call back to the future. He's like, we need your help. You're the only one that can help. And then Obi-Wan's like, yeah, but I'm looking after Luke, and sorry. And then Bale's like, they're both important, are they not? Like they're twins of the same family. They both have the same power. Yada yada pinata. Like why aren't you trying to help? Like what are you sexist or what's up? And he's like, yeah, pretty much. Like boys rule, girls get kidnapped. Sorry about you, bitch. Later on, Kenobi kind of walks through town and he sees the Jedi that he essentially told to piss off, hanging from a bunch of wires. And I guess we're supposed to assume that he hung himself, but he's hung there from like wires from like the wires around here, wires around here, or around his like chest, and then I think there's one wire like around his neck. I don't think that would work, first of all. I'm pretty sure that would like support him, and like I don't think that like if you're gonna do it, you do the one. Like it's I'm sorry, sorry to tell you how to do your business there, Jedi, but apparently it worked, I guess. Or I guess maybe someone killed him and left him up there for the Inquisitors to find. I don't know. I think you're supposed to assume that he killed himself, which really I think it would have been. It would make more sense for him to commit seppuku, which because a lot of like Star Wars and all that is based on like samurai lore and whatnot, and like the way of the samurai. That's where George Lucas got this stuff from. So it would make sense for if anybody as like a Jedi and stuff were to commit suicide, that they would take their lightsaber and just thrust it into them, those samurai warriors would take their blade and just into there. And so that would have made sense. And plus it would have been really cool. Like, Obi-Wan walks through town and then sees everybody crowd around this Jedi. Like he's just out on his knees, and then like the lightsaber's just right there in his like chest or whatever, and he's just like there, and his head's just like out, and just like he has to like look him in the eyes there. Or maybe he's just like, he just goes out before everybody and just tells everybody he's the Jedi, and then he just looks Kenobi in the eyes and just does it right in front of him. And then Kenobi just is like, what have I done? Oh, but yeah, no. So the main takeaway, I guess, is that he killed himself. And, that Kenobi sucks. Yeah, that too. Hi, me from the future. That was that's stupid. That was a stupid theory I had about him hanging himself, especially like that. No, he totally got captured by the Inquisitors and was killed, and then strung up by the Inquisitors to instill fear in those that saw him. Although the reason I didn't even think about that is because they don't think Obi-Wan's there, and so like that's why that didn't even cross my mind. So I was just like, no, that they didn't do that. I mean, I guess Reva would have done that, I guess, but I don't know. The thought just never crossed my mind that they were, because really, if you're trying to instill fear of, with a dead Jedi, you do that whenever you think there's a Jedi around, and that was the last Jedi that they thought was in that area, as far as we could tell. Apart from Reva, she might have thought that he was in that area, but anyway. He did not hang himself in an idiotic manner. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that. I don't know. That was just the first logical thing I came to. I mean, at first you see his like legs dangling there, so you're like, oh, he hung himself, which, you know. I still think the whole Senpeku thing would have been way cooler. Like, just he should have done that, and then Obi-Wan would have felt so bad. But either way, Obi-Wan should feel like a piece of crap because I mean that guy's dead, and could very well have been alive had Obi-Wan helped him. But you know, so yeah. So I guess the Inquisitors killed him and just strung him up there, which is kind of weird. I guess maybe they're trying to tell the people, hey, you find a Jedi, do this, okay? Do this. Kill them. Not like everybody doesn't know that already. I mean, you've been walking around the whole place being like, hey, we're looking for a Jedi and we want to kill him. You literally have just been threatening people's lives with like looking for these Jedis. You cut off a lady's hand. Like, I think people get the message. I don't know. That's why I didn't see it that way. Anyways, moving on. Upon returning to the cave, Obi-Wan sees a mysterious hooded, cloaked figure. Who could it be? Could it be Qui-Gon finally there to connect with him? Could it be a really, really, really tall Yoda now? I mean, who knows? Maybe he finally hit his growth spurt. I don't know. It could have been him. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's Mace Windu because come on, like I really want that to happen. I want Mace Windu to come back. I think that story would be really cool. Just make it happen, okay? Really, preferably in like a Boba Fett show because I really think him and Boba Fett facing off would be really cool. But whatever. I digress. It turns out that it's actually just Bail Organa. He just showed up and was like, "Yo, bro, not cool. Okay, you're gonna save my daughter. Okay," and then. You know, I mean, if Kenobi really didn't want to save Leia, he could have just done a mind trick on Bail and been like, "You do not have a daughter. You want to go home and rethink your life." We see back on the kidnapper ship that Lola ends up trying to cut free Leia because she's got like a freaking saw within her little tiny robot compartment thing. But then Flea ends up catching her and busts Lola, I guess, and yeah, sucks, but you know, is what it is. And then we find out that Flea and the bounty hunter group, all you know, the Red Hot Chili Pepper bounty hunter group, they all work for Third Sister, you know, Reva, who hired them because and it wasn't because like Leia is you know, Padme and Anakin's daughter or anything. It's because they're Senator Bail Organa's daughter. You know, that it's because Leia is Bail's daughter is why she had them kidnap her, because you know she looked through like old records or whatever, and like he had like some connections with Obi-Wan. You know, they were close and they fought together. Blah 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 blah. And you know, and it's through that she thinks that Obi-Wan will be contacted from Bail. And that Obi-Wan will come out of hiding to go save the kid, and then that is what will, you know, and you know, it kind of seems like it's gonna work. So you know, good plan. Kudos. We then see Obi-Wan go out to the middle of the desert where he unburies a box which holds both Anakin's old lightsaber and his own, and you know, he takes his own, and then we see him board a ship, and donning his lightsaber on his hip, and he boards the ship with it in tow. And that's the end of the episode. Woo! For first episode, I enjoyed it thoroughly from start to finish. I had just like a great time watching this. It was a really good viewing experience for myself. The time just kind of flew right by. Now let's talk about the Inquisitors real quick. Now, what did I think? Now, looking at the trailer, at first I was kind of worried about the Inquisitors. To start with, I was kind of worried about Fifth Brother. He kind of looked a little different, and you know, it just didn't look like the casting was like didn't look like it was correct casting. But after seeing Fifth Brother in this episode, I would say, although there are differences from the characters' mannerisms and whatnot, I mean, obviously you're not gonna copy everything. I mean, I know that, but there's just some differences, obviously, and that's gonna happen. But the actor that plays Fifth Brother, I think he takes the character and makes it his own, and does a really good job of it, and also really. He really portrays the character, though, very well. Like, I still do feel like it is Fifth Brother. I still feel like it is that character. I don't feel like he's playing a different guy, which is what I kind of felt like it was going to end up feeling like. And I don't know. I ended up liking Fifth Brother a lot more than I thought I was going to end up liking him. And but I do kind of stand by what I ended up thinking for the Grand Inquisitor. So let's get to that. Now, after the trailer dropped, there were a lot of complaints about the way the Grand Inquisitor looked and how it didn't really look like a lot like its animated counterpart, especially like its, head, like its head shape, like it's not like completely accurate. And, I understand that animation is going to be different, obviously there are going to be differences from the animation to live action. A lot of things are going to be exaggerated in the animation compared to the live action. I understand that. Dooku is a really, really good example. Then there's like Palpatine, Yoda, and even Obi-Wan, of course. For just a couple examples. It's just there's just certain features that they end up making a little bit more animated, Dooku does not have that pointy chin, a chin beard or whatever. Same goes for Obi-Wan. And there's a lot of that going around with Yoda and Palpatine and all that with the pointiness and whatnot, but it is what it is. They look good in those shows. I mean, I like the designs, but don't get me wrong. But that's how it's gonna come across. I was gonna go ahead and be on that side of the argument of animations are going to look different from the live actions. That's fine. But in Revenge of the Sith, they already had this race. In live action, they already had it. And although I think that might have not been makeup. I think it was makeup. I think it actually was makeup. I don't know. It might have been CGI. I don't think it was. No, I think it was actually makeup. Yeah, no, and they had these elongated heads, like the ones that like how they look. Like how that race looks, in like the Grand Inquisitor looks, for example, in Star Wars Rebels. Star Wars Rebels, he has a longer head, and in Revenge of the Sith, that race, the Powans or whatever their name is, they have these elongated heads, and I really think that they could have made that more accurate. But they just decided, that's a lot of makeup. Let's just not. I think they should have. Especially because that isn't even really the big issue I have with the Grand Inquisitor. I do like the actor. The actor isn't bad. But I don't feel like he is the Grand Inquisitor. He is trying his best, I think, to be the Grand Inquisitor. He's doing a good job. He's saying the lines, and I'm like, well, yeah, I could see the Grand Inquisitor kind of speaking like this and being this way, I guess. But it just kind of takes me out of it just a little bit because I'm used to Jason Isaacs, who voiced the Grand Inquisitor in Star Wars Rebels, and honestly. Whenever you know that Jason Isaacs wanted to play the Grand Inquisitor in live action, you kind of wonder why they didn't get him. Because I've heard that before, and I'm just curious why you guys didn't get him. Just imagine, because they're already getting the guy that voiced Thrawn in Star Wars Rebels to play live action Thrawn. Like, I just, I don't get it. Like, and they're doing that a lot, actually. They have the Katie Sackhoff or whatever, who plays Bo-Katan in the Clone Wars animated series and Star Wars Rebels animated series. She's also she plays the live action version in The Mandalorian, and she's going to continue to play that. So I just kind of wonder why they didn't do the same for Jason Isaacs. I think he would have loved to do that, and also he would have done an amazing job at it. But, you know, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and move on to Third Sister, shall we? So, firstly, why did they give Third Sister a name? Why is she called Reva? Unless she has a backstory that we're going to go into later. And we do know that Inquisitors mainly are just Jedi that are turned to the dark side and that are then made into Jedi hunters. And that's basically what Inquisitors are. And then secondly, what is Reva's beef with Obi-Wan? Like, is she just trying to get in good with Vader? Like, by bringing Obi-Wan to Vader and just, like, you know, like, I don't know, maybe she wants that Grand Inquisitor spot. Maybe. I don't think that's it. Which brings me to thirdly, the beginning attack at the Jedi Temple at the very, very beginning of this episode, where the Master gets killed and the younglings run off together. We see among the younglings, there is this one young black actress that plays one of the younglings, and she happens to be dressed differently from all the others. All the others seem to be dressed in, like, basically like the tannish or the whitish or just white robes, where she is wearing brown robes. And I think that's basically to, like, let the audience know that, you know, just like to focus on that Jedi. Focus on her. She's the standout. And the reason is because I'm pretty sure that youngling is Reva. I'm pretty sure that at the beginning there's youngling Reva, and I think that here's what I think's gonna go down exactly. I think we're gonna end up getting flashbacks. We're gonna end up seeing Reva and the younglings they're gonna go into hiding in the temple. Then, as we know in Star Wars, Obi-Wan ends up sending out a message to tell the Jedi to not come to the Jedi Temple, to stay away because there's a trap there. You know, he's trying to help them. So he tells them, don't go to the Jedi Temple. It's a trap. You will be killed. So, there's no Jedi coming to help her. There's no Jedi to come help her friends. And so, her and her friends are on their own. So they have to try and make a run for it after hearing that message. And so they do. And then she sees all of her friends get brutally murdered and attacked. And maybe even Anakin comes in and kills them. It's possible. And then she goes back into hiding by herself in the Jedi Temple. It's probably then that she ends up getting captured and then kind of like brainwashed into the Inquisitorious little movement of theirs. So that's probably what I think is going to happen there. And I think that's why she has a vendetta against Obi-Wan, because he told all the Jedi to go away from the Jedi Temple. Stay away. Don't come here. And she thinks that had he not done that, Jedi would have come and all her friends would be alive. And then so I think she blames him. And then I think she also blames Vader, because I'm just like a theory. I think that he's also going to, you know, kill her friends. But I mean, he's also, you know, responsible for the attack on the temple as well. So she should also blame him as well. So I think her plan is to pit these two against each other to have them kill each other in maybe a special way. Like maybe she has it all planned out, or she's hoping one will kill the other and then she'll just off the other one. Or she has them put into a room together and then has something set up, something rigged up to kill them both, like a trap. And then maybe those two have to work together to get out. I don't know. Or they fight each other trying to get out. That's probably more likely. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen in the next episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know. That's just that. I'm just kind of spitballing here. That's just what I'm thinking. That's where my head's at. Now, the episode isn't perfect. It doesn't have like a huge amount of Obi-Wan for a show about Obi-Wan, you know. So that's kind of a downer, but it is what it is. Also, Bail Organa is one of the like leaders of the Rebel Alliance. Let's not forget that. And like that's something that he seems to have forgotten, because he calls upon Obi-Wan and he's like, "You are the only person that I've got. You're the only person that can help my daughter. So like, freaking help me, dude. Like, I got no one else." I'm like, yeah, you do. Like, first of all, you got like so many people at your disposal that could go save your daughter. And if you really wanted it to be a Jedi, like, you have used like Ahsoka before, I'm pretty sure, or in Star Wars Rebels, like I believe you have, like, and she goes under the like the name Fulcrum in Star Wars Rebels, so why wouldn't you just use her? Like, if Obi-Wan says no, like you're just gonna show up and just hope he says yes now that you're there in person? Like, it's just kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is. I think for the first episode of the Obi-Wan show that it had enough going for it, and that, you know, it was entertaining enough, and I enjoyed my viewing experience, that I think I'll give the episode a 7 out of 10. I really like the setup that we got going on here. You know, we got Obi-Wan. He's gonna go save Leia. We got the Inquisitors into the mix. We got we know that Vader is going to be thrown into it at some point. We know there's going to be some backstory pertaining to Reva and the Jedi Temple and all that. Like, it's going to happen. And it's just really cool coming back to all this. Anyways, guys, that's what I thought about the episode. Tell me, guys, what you thought about it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And yeah. Well, fellas acolytes, if you liked the video, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it. And comment down below what you would like me to review next. If there's something out there you'd like me to review, whether it's Star Wars or just something completely other, just let me know. And yeah. I've been Zack Attack. You've been you. Thanks for watching.
They're coming. Stay hidden, or we will not survive.
Leave us alone.
When the time comes, he must be trained.
Like you trained his father? You still want Kenobi. He's gone.
Maybe you've been looking in the wrong places. I want every lowlife and bounty hunter to squeeze him. You can't run, Obi-Wan! You can't escape him!
Miss Mullins, you're the man. Thank you, Frankie.
I don't like sand.